So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and welcome to my second speed test between the S25 Ultra and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Everything is closed out on both, and let's go ahead and begin with calendar. And we're running this back because we now have 18.4.1 on the right and the latest April patch, which also brought One UI 7 to some of the older Samsung phones like S24 Ultra and Galaxy Z Fold 6. Let's go into calculator on both, and you can see the animation's still ahead there for the Samsung. That's not going to change, but what we're going to do different in this video is after we run through our app test, which you can see is going first there to the left, we're going to run a couple of renders, some video renders, to see how they do with rendering video, which is a more intensive task. And you can see that Instagram was faster on the Samsung, but if you swipe up out of there, animation looked a little weird there on the Samsung for that one. Let's go over here into YouTube, and that was quicker on the Samsung. Let's go over here up to the left corner. We'll go to trending, and we'll go into gaming, and we'll go over here to movies, and we'll go over here to music. And you can see both of them tend to perform pretty much the same when in YouTube. All right, so let's take it out of YouTube here, and we'll go over here into Play Store, App Store. And you can see that was faster for the right here on the iPhone, waiting on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. For some reason, it's not opening it. So let's go ahead and run that back. That one was a fail for the S25 Ultra. Let's go to App Store, Play Store. And I guess a simple glitch right there. So let's go into apps here. And we'll go over to games. And now the S25 Ultra back to its typical fast performance. Let's swipe up out of there. And let's go over here into X on both, and that was faster for the right here. And we'll go to profile, faster on the Samsung. We'll go into Amazon. Looked a little bit quicker there on the Samsung as we swipe up out of there. You can see their animations are both kind of on the same level there, with the Samsung maybe being a little bit snappier. We'll go to Brawl Stars. And the Samsung did pull ahead in my initial test and some of these apps, but the iPhone quicker here. Now the iPhone has been very fast with the single core stuff. And let's go over here in a Groupon, and we'll see that was faster for the Samsung. Man, this Samsung, dude, this Samsung is a rocket. This one is crazy fast. I love doing this comparison because, you know, back in the day, the Samsung always had this beautiful hardware, but it couldn't keep up with the iPhone. But nowadays, bam, look at that. Faster even in the game. Let's go to play. And we'll see what happens here. Faster again on the Sammy. Let's swipe up out of there. Oh, he's a Samsung fanboy. Oh, he's an iPhone fanboy. No, I'm a tech fanboy that covers technology, smartphones, and stuff of that sort. And I call it like I see it. It looks like the iPhone might have took the lead. Let me know if that pop-up was in the way, though. I couldn't tell. Could have been the Sammy. Let's go over here to RTS. And I know I could sound like I'm being biased towards Sammy when I say Sammy, because who calls Samsung Sammy unless you really F with them, you know what I'm saying? But the iPhone, what am I going to say, Appy? Like, that doesn't sound right. You know what I'm saying? Sammy short for Samsung. Let's swipe up out of here. We'll go into Call of Duty, and we'll see what happens here. And you'll see that the Samsung is going to go first there on the left. And we'll just confirm here. Yep, Samsung won it there on Call of Duty. In game, both of them do pretty fantastic. The Samsung tends to stay cooler to the touch, although some say it can throttle under longer sessions. I haven't found it to be a major issue for me. I can play both of these games on both of these phones very well for an extended period of time. Let's go into PUBG Mobile. I shortened that too, because I didn't want to say the whole word. Lazy morning with that one. Let's go ahead, and you'll see that it looks like the iPhone might be in the lead here. You know, yeah, it is. Because sometimes they mess with me here with these apps. Like, wait a minute. No, was that Samsung? Okay, what happened was, I think the iPhone might have had it, but then the Samsung didn't load that little trailer. Both of them were pretty close though. And we'll do some real world gameplay in a minute. Let's go into Free Fire, but this is the app launch test. first in the speed test, and you'll see that we are pulling ahead there on the Samsung. Man, the Samsung, bro, is fast. Still very fast. Let's head up out of here. We'll go into Geekbench 6. People are saying, well, I don't need... What does this matter, bro? Like, it matters because when I'm paying to upgrade my phone, I want it faster than last year's phone, and I want it faster than the competition, especially at these price points. That's what matters to me. Let's go into 3D Mark. It's not about your phone from last year wasn't fast or phones weren't fast from a couple of years ago. It's that I want to see where the performance is rocking out at. You can see some of our old benchmarks here. Samsung tend to take the lead. We'll do another one today just to see. We'll go into InShot, and here's the video I have ready in draft, and we'll go over here to LumaFusion, and we have that video ready as well on both of them. So I don't know why it's not showing there on the Samsung. Oh, I think I have it in the wrong section. Should have been up there. I'll fix that before the render, but both of them did very well, but I think the Samsung launched more apps first. That was pretty strange. But overall, they are pretty neck and neck here, even on their latest 18.4.1. And the April patch that just got released a little while ago for the Samsung S25 Ultra. Let's go ahead and take a look at the RAM management now. All right, so let's see how fast the Samsung can do this without giving us any issues. And you can see so far looking pretty good. A little bit of a swipe action there, and pretty good here. And let's swipe up out of there. We'll swipe up out of here, and very fast. That was a reload for Brawl Stars. It does that pretty much on every test. I think X was refreshing the feed. YouTube refreshes the feed because it does have different content that pops up due to the algo, but definitely no real issues there. You seen I was able to swipe through all of those, and RAM management looked fantastic there for the Galaxy. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the iPhone is doing here on 18.4.1, and you could see very good here. I still like the smooth effect that we get. I feel like it looks like visually more pleasing sometimes, but the iPhone's animation can look definitely not quite as smooth as some of the competitors these days, as they just feel slower, but it's very polished. And I feel like competitors were using this as kind of like their main, and you've seen what happened here was that the same social media apps were refreshing the feeds, but there was no real reloads here. So 8 gigabytes of RAM tend to perform very well here for the iPhone, no issues. So they're both fantastic there in the RAM, very exciting stuff. However, I really still dislike that I can't do split screen on the iPhone. I can basically split or pop view any of these applications in here, no issues. I could flip them around, I could save them as an app pair, and it just makes more sense that I could use all of this stuff on the Galaxy versus the iPhone. I mean, similar size screen, but I can do way more. I just really don't like that still about my 16 Pro Max. All right, so what I want to do is some real world app usage. I want to showcase how the performance is on this phone here and some real world tasks. So let's say let me lower the volume. Let's say we're watching a video, we're watching an NBA video, whatever. We pull that down, we go through here, we flip that around, no issues. You can see up here they have that little now bar that'll showcase some of that. We move that video over. Let's go to Groupon, we'll go to categories, we'll go to health and fitness. Let's go ahead and just kind of scroll through there. You can see no issues. As I go in here to Instagram, let me go to the Apple. Let's make a comment here on the Apple. You can see no issues. As I swipe over here, I pull in another application right here. You can see I can make a calculation, no problem. And then as this thing is popped up over here, I'm gonna go ahead and head into Call of Duty. And I'm gonna go ahead and start a multiplayer match here. Let's go ahead and hit start. And you could see as this is matching me up right here, we're gonna go to the Frontline Nuketown over here. You can see I can still pull in calculator. I can bring that down. We can also split this, even though I'm not gonna be doing calculations while playing a game. You can see it's still running just fine. Over here, not only that, this video can still play no problem while I'm up here about to start a match up here. So this is just crazy performance right here. Now let's go ahead and pull this in. We'll bring this over here. And as you can see, running just fine. I am feeling a little bit of heat over here on the Galaxy, but definitely doing a fantastic job. Now I'm gonna get up out of there. I'm probably gonna get a loss there, hurt the team, but I'm doing a test, so they don't know that. Let's go over here and let's head into LumaFusion now. And let's kind of swipe through here. You can see for some reason my video is not showing again. I don't know what that's about. But let's head up over here into InShot. We'll go to video. We'll go over here. You can see I could add text, and you can see as I'm doing all of these tasks, I'm not getting no issues here in the real world performance. So this thing is a boss in pretty much everything it does. I can tell you I'm feeling a little bit of heat, but nothing worrying whatsoever. Then if I open up the camera, I go ahead and take a photo, punch in, punch in, punch in, swipe through, no lag. Even when I'm pushing it and doing all these tasks really quickly, it keeps up with me like I'm nothing. So let's go ahead and do the iPhone now. All right, so in real world use, let's go over here. Let's just click a whatever video here. Let me pull this down, a little ad pulled up. That's pretty much the only multitasking you can do on here. There's the benchmarks. We'll go into App Store and no issues. We'll go into Instagram. I'm going to go over here and we'll just go ahead and comment on whatever on this post. We'll just see what happens. I'm not going to actually comment that. I'm just trying to see if we can lag this thing up. Going through here, we'll click a post right here. I don't know what I'm clicking, so don't judge me for whatever I'm clicking. It's just whatever on that feed. And let's go over here to video, and you could see the iPhone flying along really well as well. The app is a little bit better optimized for LumaFusion. You can see no issue. As I pull in the Call of Duty, I am feeling similar heat. I can bring that over to the side, no issues. And you could see this is where the performance is strong. Now, people are going to say, well, I'm never going to do all those things like that crazily quick. Yes, I get it. What I'm trying to do is choke these up, though. I'm trying to show you that if you were to really push this and you're doing multiple things at once, you're a power user. These things can handle it. This is where phones like a mid-ranger or even some 60 hertz phones would look definitely more laggy and stuff like this. When you're kind of like pulling things in, swiping through, using a bunch of apps, it's going to look a little bit choppier. Now we are in a different match here for Call of Duty, but like a different arena, but it definitely doesn't matter. Our map, sorry, I said arena like it's a sports game. Let's go over here and we swipe through. No issues. I will say, I feel like the performance, some of the animations and apps are looking a little more polished here on the iPhone when going through some of these things. It looked like that quick actions was giving me a little bit more of a slower look on the Samsung. But overall, you know, you have more abilities to split and all that. But you've seen in those real world applications and usage, no real issue on either. So in this speed test 2, we already ran benchmarks earlier, so we're not running them. You could take a look at some of my history if you'd like to see it. The last one we run was on April 8th. And you could see that the Samsung did lose in the single core, but one in the multi-core, which is a good thing. You know, that's where the performance really matters a lot. Single core is day-to-day casual use, but both of them are very high there. Let's go to 3D Mark, and you could see some of my recent results here. Also on April 8th, the Samsung S25 Ultra blew away the iPhone when it comes to this area, scoring better than 96% of devices versus 88% of devices. But what I wanted to do different in this one is let's go ahead and do 2 video renders. Now the one we're going to do here is an in-shot. We're going to start here with a 1080 clip. So these are both 1080-60. They're just 1 minute, but we'll see which one can do this quicker, export this project faster. Now we do need to be in the MP4 on both. So let's go ahead and hit save and see which one can do this quicker. So it looks to me like the iPhone is in the lead by a little bit, but they're very neck and neck here. So which one is going to rock this video first? Now it looks like Samsung's pulling ahead and Samsung's going to win. So Samsung has won this test. We got an ad, but Samsung took it there in that 1080 clip and in-shot. The next one is going to be in LumaFusion. So let's go to LumaFusion here. And we do have this 1 minute video. I'm not sure why it's not playing. There it is. We just seen it right there. Let's go ahead. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to export this project as well. So we'll go to movies here. We're going to do it to photos. We'll do it to media photos. This is a 4K 60 clip. So the first one was 1080 in the in-shot. This one is 4K 60. You can see everything is lined up the same. H.264. And let's go over here to MPEG. It's MP4. It's a normal video on both. So let's go ahead and export these now. 3, 2, and go. And we'll see which one can do this faster. Now the Samsung is pulling ahead once again. I do believe that maybe the Samsung was shooting at a lower, the space was lower on the file size. So that could be playing into this, but they're both on H.264. So I think the file size might just be bigger on the iPhone, but the Samsung is going to do this quicker. It's going to finish this out faster. That's an area that you don't usually typically expect the Samsung to win in, but it definitely did, and it beat the iPhone in that one as well. So even in the video rendering department, the Samsung is an absolute monster now. They also do have a photo gallery, like they have their own editor built into the photo gallery. So overall, no major issues in that department either. So at the end of the day, speed test 2, it's been a few months. The Samsung has got some updates. It's feeling great. The iPhone also feeling pretty great on some of its latest updates. They're polishing up iOS 18 and it's performing like an absolute champ. The battery life still feels longer to me on the iPhone, but the actual like breakneck speed is faster on the Samsung. It just feels that way. So Samsung's still retaining the crown. I don't think any software updates are going to be able to change this. They just have the faster overall performance, I feel like. And until the 17 series comes, the Samsung is retaining the crown here. But only by a little bit. It's not like substantially faster, I feel like. It's a little bit, like maybe 10, 15%. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this battle. And I'll catch you on the next episode. Nick here. Be sure to be well. And peace.